What a race. What are
If you were looking to get into NASCAR, the best race for you to watch first is a super speedway race.
Talladega, specifically.
Talladega, or even the
Cowhide.
Made a what?
Cowhide. It's like the skin on a cow's rear end.
Okay, well, technically cows produce leather, so.
God. Type of leather, exactly what you said. But yeah. If you're trying to get into NASCAR, watch Talladega. And, similar experience, that's actually the race that got me into NASCAR. A couple years ago, after COVID. I always watched NASCAR here and then, but I never really got into it until it was the only thing on TV during COVID. Or like, a little bit after all the pandemic stuff went down. Yeah. Talladega was on. Nobody in the stands or anything. But I'm watching this race. And it's just ridiculous, man. It's just like it's so entertaining. I was watching Team Penske. At the time, it was Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. I watched them control the entire field, like pretty much like what Hendrick did. Like they were
for stage 2.
Yeah, they were 1, 2, 3 in the inside line, and they were in the outside line all together, and they were just like fighting everybody. And there were comers and goers from other drivers, but it was just entertaining to watch teammates work together and try to win the race together. And I'm sure all hell would have broke loose at the end, but that really got me into racing. So it was chaotic, just like this past weekend. If you want to talk about the finish of that race, holy cow. It was one of the more tame Talladega races I've watched, I will say.
It was still pretty exciting.
It was pretty exciting, but I was hoping for a caution a little earlier in the last stage so we could have like a overtime or anything, because overtime's always crazy at Talladega, because as they always say, cautions breed cautions. Right. So there probably would have been like 7 or 8 of them.
Right, but I think the big downfall this week was the stage 2 Logano crash.
Why was that bad?
Because everybody kind of like reset and was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be this aggressive this early on in the race. So,
well, the whole Logano crash, I don't know if you read too much into it. It was kind of Martin Truex's fault.
It was his fault because he was
trying to get a push. I don't remember who was behind him, but he was trying to get a push, and he backed up to the guy behind him, and he started getting a push, right? And then he just kind of got into the back of Logano and sent him into the outside barrier.
No, it was
or did he was in front. He was leading the outside line.
He was leading the outside line, and Byron was in front of him, I believe.
It stacked him up behind him, and Logano, like I said, got sent.
Elliott was on the bottom line, and Walsh was on the bottom line behind Elliott. So you got 2 lines.
Mm-hmm.
Every super speedway there's always 2 lines. So on the inside
2
line,
or 3 or 4 or 7.
Normally there's 2 when it's organized.
For a restart, there's always 2 lines.
So you had Elliott and Morrison on the inside line, and you had Byron on the outside line, who's teammates with them. Mm-hmm. So Byron accelerated first because he was in first place at the time. And he went down in front of his 100 teammates so they could push each other, like you were saying with Team Penske.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Truex backed up to try to get a big push.
To get by him.
And that backed up, I think it was Eric Jones, into Logano, and Bubba Wallace hit Logano, and that just kind of jarred his car loose into the wall and then wrecked everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but like I think it was 9 cars got out, and Kyle Busch, man.
How did he get out of that?
He finds a way out of every wreck.
Oh, he does not. He has some of the worst luck in NASCAR, man.
Not the past 2 weeks.
Well, not the past 2 weeks after backing into the win, I'll admit. But the thing is, it did get a lot more tame, like you said. There was a lot of train racing towards the end of the second stage and sort of the third stage.
I like train racing though. Like that's something like it's entertaining for me to watch because it's always like, oh, is who's gonna go? Who's gonna make
who's gonna make the move to to start another line?
Who's gonna have enough balls to leave their 5th place position to go out to the outside line and try to get pushed?
Exactly, and that's what is so great about Talladega because you never know what's gonna happen.
It's something that's. You gotta watch it.
But
go watch the highlights.
On the Talladega Geico 500. But transitioning away from that, Chase, you put this page